Good morning, class 12. Welcome to economics class. Children, you know that we have started chapter number 4, but today we'll be ending this chapter number 4, that is elasticity of demand. In the last class, we have discussed in detail the price elasticity of demand. We have discussed about the meaning. We have discussed about price elasticity's formula. We have discussed about methods of measuring price elasticity, and we have discussed in detail various degrees of price elasticity of demand. Children, today also we'll continue with chapter number 4, but we'll be taking the last topic of the chapter, that is the remaining two types of elasticities, that is income and cross elasticity, and the last topic of the chapter, that is factors affecting elasticity of demand. So children, starting up with the topic, that is types of elasticities of demand. Types of elasticities of demand, children, you know that there are three types of elasticities: price elasticity, cross elasticity, and income elasticity. We need to talk about price elasticity in detail, which we have already done in the previous classes, and today we will be talking about in detail the cross elasticity and income elasticity. We will not be taking that detailing, but we'll just talk about the meaning and the degrees, and this is only written in your syllabus, right children? So coming to the first topic, that is income elasticity of demand. Children, income elasticity of demand measures the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded of the commodity to the change in income of the consumer. More precisely, income elasticity of demand may be defined as the ratio of proportionate change in quantity demanded of the commodity to the proportionate change in income of the consumer. Children, you can see the formula. Elasticity of demand, in like income elasticity of demand, is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. You can say percentage or you can say proportionate. Children, here income is denominator. In the price elasticity, price was the denominator. Remember? So here income is denominator. Why? Because whenever we measure elasticity or income elasticity of demand specifically, then the changes in the demand exist because of income, and whatever is the cause, whatever is the reason for change in demand, that becomes denominator. So the formula will be percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Remember this, okay? This is important. Now, coming to the income elasticity in detail, we need to talk about the degrees and the meaning and plus formula. So, we'll be talking about the three things, that is meaning, degree and formula. So, the meaning is clear, formula is clear. Now, let's talk about the degree. Children, you know that in the slide also it is written, in economics, the income elasticity of demand measures the responsiveness of demand of a good to the change in income of the people demanding the good. It is calculated as I told you, percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in income. Now, according to the changes in income, we are measuring the effect on demand. That is, whenever income is changing, what effects come on the demand, we are measuring this here. Right? So, on the basis of this, income elasticity demand can be of three types. Number one, positive income elasticity. Number two, negative income elasticity. And number three, zero income elasticities. Fine. So let's take the first case, that is positive income elasticity. Income elasticity of demand is said to be positive when the increase in income of the consumer, the amount purchased of the commodity increases, and vice versa. In more simple words, we can say whenever there is a positive relationship between income and quantity demanded of a good, that's a case of positive income elasticity. And children, this usually happens in the case of which type of goods? Normal goods, right? In case of positive income elasticity, the degree can be three. That is income elastic, income inelastic, or unitary income elastic. So let's talk about the first case, income elastic. If percentage change in quantity demanded of the commodity is greater than percentage change in income, then it will be said EY greater than 1. Why EY? Because it is income elasticity, and Y greater than 1 because it is income elastic. Fine. Second, income inelastic. Children, if the percentage change in quantity demanded is smaller than percentage change in income, that is, it will be less than unitary, and the demand for the commodity is said to be income inelastic. Yes, the concept remains the same, elastic and inelastic, but the reason here is just changing, that is income. Coming to the last degree of positive, that is unitary income elastic. if the percentage change in quantity demanded is equal to the percentage change in income, then the income elasticity of demand will be equal to 1, or you can say it will be unitary. Income elasticity of unitary represents a dividing line between income elastic and income inelastic. So once again, that in case of income elasticities of demand, there can be 3 degrees: positive, negative and 0. In positive, there are 3 cases: income elastic, income inelastic and unitary income elastic. Right? Fine. Now, coming to the second case, that is negative income elastic. It is written on the slide also. You can see negative income elastic. Negative income elasticity of demand is said to be negative when increase in income of the consumer leads to fall in the amount purchased of the commodity and vice versa. And children, this happens usually in the case of inferior commodities. Fine, this all I have already told you, that normal goods have positive relationship with income and inferior goods have negative relationship income. So definitely in the case of inferior goods, the degree of income elasticity will be negative. It is written on the slide. In the last line you can see the negative income elasticity of demand is associated with inferior goods, and you can see a positive income elasticity of demand is associated with normal goods. Right children? Now which third case is left? Which was the case? Yes, zero income elasticity of demand. So children, income elasticity of demand may be zero in some exceptional cases. Mind you, in exceptional cases, zero income elasticity of demand for a good implies that a rise in the income leaves quantity demanded unchanged. For example, income elasticity of demand for a salt may be zero because an increase in income beyond a certain level may not bring about any change in demand for salt. I gave you this example in the first class also when we were talking about law of demand, right? Remember? Why? Why? This happens because when suppose you are a rich consumer, you are eating salt in your food. Everybody eats salt, yes. So, but suppose if I am a rich man, so I'll eat more salt. No, it's not like that. The consumption and the percentage of the consumption of salt remains same, irrespective whether income is increasing, whether income is decreasing, whether we are rich people, whether we are poor people. Fine. So there are some cases in which the effect of income does not falls on demand of particular goods, and in that case the elasticity of income or income elasticity of demand will be zero. So children, in all we have discussed about the 3 degrees of income elasticity, and that I told you, that is the first was in positive, second is negative and the third is 0. In first case there were 3 degrees: income elastic, income inelastic and unitary elastic. Second was the case of negative, which happens usually in the case of inferior goods, right? And the last is the case of zero income elasticity, and that happens usually in the case of necessary goods. You can see this. I am presenting you this in the slide also. Is that clear? Right. Now children, once again the revision for the formula of measuring these type of elasticity. Income elasticity is income elasticity of demand is equals to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in consumers real income. So if it is written real income, then don't get confused. Both are the same things, right? Income you can denote by Y also, and income you can denote by I also. And delta means what? Change. This much is clear? Now let's move ahead with the second degree of elasticity, that is cross elasticity of demand. Children, cross elasticity of demand is defined as a percentage change in quantity demanded of the commodity with respect to change in the price of related commodities. I have already told you related commodities are two: complementary and substitute. Remember? Yes, in the first chapter, in the second chapter, chapter number 2, that was theory of demand, law of demand chapter, we have discussed this, right? So related commodities are two: substitute and complementary. Now on the basis of this, the formula will be EC, because we are here talking about cross elasticity. So rather than writing EP we write for price elasticity, EY we write for income elasticity, EY or EI you can write, and EC we write for cross elasticity. So the formula will be EC is equals to percentage change in quantity demanded of product A divided by percentage change in price of product B. You can also write like this, that percentage change in quantity demanded of commodity X divided by percentage change in the price of commodity Y. Numerator here is change in demand of commodity X, and denominator here is change in the price of commodity Y. Fine. Here the numerator is changing. The word is price, but the commodities are also changing. On numerator, commodity X is there. On denominator, commodity Y is there. Right? And these X and Y can be substitute, and these X and Y can be complementary. Right, children? As I told you that commodities can be complementary and commodities can be substitute also. So children, coming to the degrees of cross elasticity, here also we get three types of elasticities, that is positive, negative and zero. In positive, here the positive cross elasticity happens in case of substitute goods usually. Negative cross elasticity happens in case of complementary goods, and zero cross elasticity happens in the case when the goods are unrelated. Right? So let's talk about the first. First degree is positive cross elasticity. Positive cross elasticity of demand is said to be positive when the increase in the price of one commodity, suppose Y, leads to an increase in the demand for other commodity. And for example, when these two goods are substitute of each other. Substitute, you remember? Tea or coffee, right? Yes. This elasticity, this degree we find only in the case of substitute goods. Okay, so for example, tea and coffee are substitute good. This you know. A fall in the price of coffee increases the quantity demanded of coffee but reduces the quantity demanded of tea. Changes in the price of coffee and in the quantity of tea demanded will therefore have the same sign, will have the same relationship, positive relationship. So the cross elasticity will be positive, right? Coming to the second case, that is negative cross elasticity. Cross elasticity of demand is said to be negative when the increase in the price of Y leads to the fall in the demand of X. And here X and Y will be complementary, right? Give me one example of complementary. Bread and butter. Very good. So, complementary goods have negative cross elasticities. For example, bread and butter are complementary goods. A fall in the price of butter causes an increase in the quantity purchase of not only butter but also bread. Thus, change in the price of butter and in the quantity of bread demanded will have opposite sign, that is negative sign. So, the cross elasticity here will be negative. Right, children? Now, let's talk about the last and the third degree, that is zero cross elasticity of demand. Children, zero cross elasticity of demand will happen only in case of those goods which are not related to each other. For example, if we say that price of television and demand for salt. So this is an unrelated, it's an example of unrelated goods. So in this case, the degree will be zero cross elasticity. Now, cross elasticity demand is said to be zero when the change in the price of one commodity does not affect the demand for another commodity. And if the two goods are not related to each other, for example, I gave you the example that is tea and TV set, the cross elasticity demand will be zero. A change in the price of tea is not likely to influence the demand for TV. Children, this I have mentioned in the slide also. You can see substitute goods usually have positive elasticity, complementary goods have negative elasticity, cross elasticity I can say, and unrelated goods like TV and salt, the cross elasticity demand will be zero. Fine, children. So we have discussed about the income elasticities of demand. In that case, there were 3 degrees, positive, negative and zero. Here also we have discussed about the 3 degrees of cross elasticities, and the degrees are positive, negative and zero. Right, children? Now, this was all about the degrees of income and cross elasticity of demand. Price elasticity we have already discussed. In my next video, I'm sending you today only the next video also, and in that I'll be discussing about the factors affecting elasticity of demand. And children, that's the last topic of this chapter. So today we are going to finish this chapter, and you'll be preparing this, you'll be doing worksheet, you'll be doing assignment and sending me back on my personal WhatsApp number. Right, children? So now watch my second video.